Welcome everybody to the return of the WCW 2004 series here in TEW 2020. As after a long absence, I'm back. If you there is an update video basically explaining things, but if you just came across this, obviously a long way down the road, there was a gap. Don't worry about it, as we're still on the road to Great American Bash. Because it's been a little while for anybody who's been watching, I'll be a little more in depth with the backgrounds of everything, but hopefully we'll get back in the swing of things here pretty quickly. We start off with, as tradition, as we're in front of a sold-out crowd at the Hampton Coliseum in beautiful Virginia. As in a decent pre-show match, James Storm, Sean Stasiak, and Evan Courageous defeated Norman Smiley, Fit Finlay, and Jack Evans in 14:53, when James Storm pinned Fit Finlay with the 8-second ride. This gets a 66. Jack Evans gets a 78 because he's awesome. Fit Finlay gets a 46, Norman Smiley gets a 45, Evan Courageous gets a 45, Sean Stasiak gets a 57, and James Storm gets a 69. So, decent little fun thing here just to get some people who don't have anything currently going on, some TV time, but now we're moving on to the actual show. So we start out with the old Chosen One thing coming on, and to a nice round of boos, out comes Jeff Jarrett and Mark Jindrak. Of course, Jindrak has his TV title, and Jarrett basically points out, yes, I'm still standing here, slap nuts, because after Slamboree, people thought Canyon was just going to take me out, but he didn't beat me, I didn't beat him. But the more important thing is I proved I belong at the top of World Championship Wrestling, as I am the top of the chosen few, along with men like Mark Jindrak. We will lead WCW glory, and we will prove ourselves as the only group that matters in World Championship Wrestling. Q, woo! And out comes Ric Flair, and out coming back with Canyon again, because Jarrett and Kenny had a huge back and forth double countout match at Slamboree, and so they basically took the last couple weeks off to sell their injuries, and now they're back. And Flair's, beside Canyon, and Flair basically up top and says, "You proved yourself that you want to think, Jarrett, that you proved yourself the elite because you managed to fight Canyon to a double countout? Well, brother, you have to realize I'm an 18-time world champion. Kenny here is a world champion. How many world titles do you have that lasted more than 3 seconds because your old friends basically handed you over the title? Canyon and I, we fought. We bled blood. We did everything we could to become champions. We didn't have any back with some stroke giving us those belts. And that's what you never realized when you were a part of the Horsemen. You never realized it was a gift to help you. Canyon realized that, and that's why he's standing beside me right now. Because he knows there was a lot to learn from the dirtiest player in the game, and the man with the longest line, even though it's the oldest line. But if he's not going to get, if Canyon can't beat into you, maybe I can. That's why next week on Nitro, I want your ass in the ring, Jarrett. I already almost took the TV title off your boy there. So next week, live on Nitro, I want to prove to you that you're still second rate. Jarrett fights back. Well, slap nuts. You'll have to get remembered what I'm the chosen one, and you're an old man. So big old setup for next week's main event, which is Ric Flair versus Jeff Jarrett, and you're continuing this feud between these two groups. Mark Jersey's part of the Horsemen, along with Flair and Canyon. They broke up. Flair and Canyon turned face, and now Jindrak is Jarrett's new charge. Also Ray Gordy, but he got injured for a year, so we're going to forget about him. So this gets a 96 because all these guys are pretty awesome, even Mark Jindrak. As Mark Jindrak basically looks like a cocky asshole back with a TV title, and Canyon basically steps in there and says, "Nobody's better than Canyon," and Jarrett, I'll get to you sooner or later. And this gets a 96, great stuff. And then we go backstage where we basically see Sharp with a cameraman basically pulling him toe as he tries to sneak up on Tajiri to get revenge, because remember, Sharp hit Tajiri with a chair shot at Slamboree to basically save his own title. Tajiri got his revenge hitting with Mist on Nitro, and now Sharp's looking for revenge, but Tajiri is ready for him, and he just stares at Sharp, and Sharp eventually has to back down and proclaims his US title and says, And this gets 68. So fun little, not little comedy segment, but just like, Jerry's, sort of been a mid-card guy, but he's still Jerry, so he's still a badass. And Jerry talks about walking the path, but he's, kind of just a self-deluded guy. Remember, Keenan Sharp is our friend Corey Graves. But then it's announced after, basically, as part of your hype cycle, it's been officially announced at Great American Bash. It will be in a rematch for the TEW title, Jerry versus Sharp. Fun stuff. In regard to our opening match of the evening, as Andrews put it over as a cruiserweight scramble, including an open invitation to some of the youngest and up-and-coming talent in World Championship Wrestling, including some from our developmental promotion NWO Wildside. So yes, a 57. So we have some new people coming out here, including Johnny Devine and Tony Kizuna, who are both permanently, I think, up from our dev territory. Basically, we need more people in sort of like, the undercard of the cruiserweight division, and both Kizuna and Devine are pretty easily over, and they both don't have too much to do anymore in the dev territory, and so it's time to bring them up. So we had some, so this is just, just a complete, like, clusterfuck. This is everybody flying around, hitting moves, Blitzkrieg hitting big flips, Kaz kicking people, Lashby and Lasharoo, Shannon Moore probably just taking moves. Johnny Devine, who's pushed as simply Johnny Devine, just like he able to hit some high fly moves, some like, sort of like cocky hit or heel moves, a quick suplex, gets some pinfall victory, pinfall attempts, but gets broken up. Yang flies around, Tony Kizuna does some like decent, like high impact cruiser like tile stuff. But in the end, Air Paris is able to pin Yang with the big diving leg drop after, your pretty much your typical cruiserweight dive train, and gets the big win, as this gets a 57, Air Paris gets a 71, Blitzkrieg gets a 47, Kaz gets a 75, Lasharoo gets a 40, Shannon Moore gets a 40, Simply Johnny Devine in his debut gets a 46, Tony Kizuna in his debut gets a 46, and Yang gets a 52, and we have the changes. So Simply Johnny Devine has now the goofy, cocky cruiser gimmick as get initial rating and very good. So good stuff. And yeah, that's about it. As Tony Kizuna just has his, like, basically dude gimmick. Not dude, but just a guy gimmick. And post-match, Air Paris celebrates to a 59. And then that is also announced, basically, that was basically a number one contendership match. As it'll be Air Paris versus Cruiserweight Champion Elix Skipper at the pay-per-view. Then we go backstage where Jeremy Rash is with Rob Van Dam, as he basically cuts a quick promo saying, I've talked to Eric Bischoff, and he knows that it's not, that me and Shane Helms, we haven't determined who's the better man, bro. So, at Great American Bash, it's going to be me and him one more time, but Bischoff has added that there must be a winner. No double pins, no double countouts. I'd be okay with no countouts or disqualifications as long as his running buddies aren't in the way. But man, I just want to prove that I'm the better wrestler. And at Great American Bash, that's exactly what I'm going to prove, man. Because I'm RVD. So that sets up that much. Obviously, after they fought to a double pin at Slamboree, so that pretty much, should be pretty obvious that that's going to be another rematch. And then you go backstage where, basically what's put over is that tonight's supposed to be a 6-man match between Deadpool and the team of O'Haire, Palumbo, and Vampiro, with Morningstar and Macias supposedly having a mystery partner. So now we're backstage with O'Haire, Palumbo, and Vampiro, and they're both basically like, are you going to turn on us? Is this all a big plan to get us in the ring 3-on-2 and kick our ass? You can just let us know now, and we'll just, just a minute, and we'll just walk away. You can go back with your creepy buddies, and we'll go to war again. Vampiro's like, I don't know what their plan is. I'm here to get my revenge on them. I do not care about you guys anymore. Focus on one goal, and that's saving my WCW career, and taking control of the monster Macias. O'Haire Palumbo, really fine, but if you screw us over, the last thing we have to be worried about is Macias taken out in your career. You don't have to worry about us doing it. Miro simply nods and walks away, and yeah, it's a six-man tag match tonight. Palumbo and O'Haire team up with Vamprio to take on Macias Morningstar, and we don't know who else. And this gets an 80 as basically just a little like decent backstage promo. And then that was not the best match. That was, yeah, Natty's not that over yet. Oh well, this might be a not less than fantastic show. Oh well, as in a quick little match, Angel Foxx basically squashes Natty Neidhart in 5:15 by pinfall with an Angel Snap. Just like, Natty gets a few, takedowns and, big slams in, but she's still a young wrestler. Angel Foxx is a former women's world champion, and she just dominates Natty and gets the big pinfall victory. Angel Foxx gets a 55, Natty Neidhart gets a 35. Yeah, again, not the end of the world. But as, Angel Foxx is celebrating, Gail Kim music hits, and she comes out with the women's world championship belt, and she steps in the ring across from Foxx. And she says to Foxx, well, things are just a little bit different than the last time we faced off, isn't it? And Foxx is like, yes, I learned something. And you seem to forget something. You seem to be focused on actually getting something out of these idiots. These lascivious, I can't say that word, weirdo, yucky, desperate fans. When I realized I don't need to do that. I have the talent, I have the looks, and I have everything I need to be at the top of this business. And you're, Gail, you're just in my way. And Gail fights her back. Look, I never hated the fans. I was just against people they liked, and I did what I did to become champion. And now that I'm champion again, they respect me, because they know I'm the head bitch in charge of this women's division. And Angel, you might have some broken wings after Great American Bash. There's a little stare down before Gail walks away. And there we go, this 64, as these are two of the more over women in the promotion, and this sort of gets things over. Then we go backstage, where Reno and Cash, along with Amber, are in Bischoff's office, and Cash is basically like, are people just allowed to book their own, to add additional people to matches now? Because, we don't care, but we're the tag team champions of the world. We should have some say over who's getting tag title shots. So now Noble and his bodyguard might get a tag title shot because they get a lucky win over those losers right in Chavo. Come on, man. You don't want this. And Eric's like, actually, I thought it was a good idea. That's why I okayed it after Nitro. Look, Wright and Guerrero are a great team, but James Noble just beat Eddie Guerrero. Ebony Sable is a great powerhouse, possible future big time star. So if they beat, if Noble gets the pinfall, it gets the victory over Wright tonight, who am I to say they shouldn't get a tag title shot? And plus, everybody loves a triple threat match, don't they? Guess you guys just have to make sure that you aren't the ones that you guys don't lose your belt without getting pinned, huh? And glowers, Amber scowls, Cash just walks away. 670, decent little promo. Honestly, better than I thought, considering these guys aren't great promos. Then we go backstage, where Palumbo's basically backstage in the arena somewhere, and Macias and Morningstar just come after him out of nowhere. He tries to fight, but it's 2-on-1, and one of those two is Macias, and Macias just throws him against some, it's a backstage of arena. There's some crap that can destroy you, so that happens, and eventually Palumbo's just sort of laying there as Macias and Morningstar walk away. So it seems their plan was never to actually have any backup. It was just to take out one of the members, as this gets a 7-2. As it's just a short little 2-minute segment. Then we have an interesting sort of top of the hour match, as Goldberg just kills Sabu in 304 with a jackhammer. This gets a 61, Goldberg gets a 92, Sabu gets a 35, because he's pissed because he's been jobbing a lot and other stuff. But, honestly, he wasn't as over as I thought he was, and he doesn't have great stats, so, what can I do with him? I mean, it's Sabu 2004, so also what did I expect? But yeah, I mean, Sabu, like, I imagine, like, Sabu just, like, tries the, like, throwing the chair spot, and Goldberg just no-sells him, just runs over him. And then, spear, jackhammer, there you go. Big win for Goldberg. Main reason I did this is sometimes I forget, like, once I set up a main event, to actually have, like, people wrestle again. Like, that's, kind of important. Then, Goldberg is celebrating when Booker comes out with the world title in hand, with Sharma behind, beside him. And he just, does the golf clap thing. And then, takes the mic and says, very impressive, beating some guy from the bingo halls. Sega. See, Goldberg, you have to realize, this is my time now. You had your time, but I've risen up and taken my correct place as a six-time WCW champion, and there's nothing you can do about that, because I'm the man in World Championship Wrestling now. I've beaten Eddie Guerrero, I've beaten all who come across me, and Great American Bash. The story will not be, the man takes back his title. The story will be, it's proven that I should have been the man all along. Can you dig that? Goldberg just started back. You want to whine, bitch, and complain, Booker? Get in this ring, and I'll take you out right now. And Booker's just like, basically shrugged his shoulders, says no, points to the title, and walks away. And there's our confrontation as we continue the build up to the big world title match at Great American Bash. Booker defending his title against Bill Goldberg. 86, really good stuff. Goldberg's not the best promo guy, so there you go. Then we have a quick little backstage promo as Johnny Barash is with European Disunion, Nikita Colt, and CB Bisek. And, Bisek basically, says, we came, we saw, we've already destroyed, and we will only continue to wreck whoever's put in front of us in that ring, because we are the most dominant women athletes in wrestling today. Nikita Colt adds, yes, it is true. Any sow or beach blonde bimbo you put in for us, we will stretch, tear apart, and prove that we are the best wrestlers. And nothing can stop us. 66, perfect little decent heel, monster, cocky, cold promo. And there you go, 66. Also, I forgot to look up a nice little insult for Nikita Colt to add. And then honestly, I'm not surprised by how good this match was, but I'm also I'm just I forgot AJ was already this good. I thought he was, I forgot he was doing this well. Anyway, in a fun little basically sprint, Lane Storm, member of the Triumvirate, along with Mike Awesome and Billy Kidman, takes on AJ Styles, and AJ Styles gets the big win over Lane Storm, a former tag team champion, in 10:02 with the Styles Clash. 76, back and forth match, but AJ gets the big win. AJ gets an 83, Lane Storm gets an 81, so only got 76 probably because of lack of a storyline. And post-match, AJ Styles just celebrates, big win, 74, as he continues on his path up in World Championship Wrestling. Then we go backstage to a quick little segment, which gets a 67, as Jet and London are backstage, and they run into AMW, and basically trade in, Jet and London are like, so you guys aren't doing anything. AMW are like, yeah, you guys are back here. I mean, we're both former tag team champions. We should be doing something. And Jet and London are like, look, we had a rematch, and unfortunately we lost. So we're committed to building ourselves back at the top. Let me just say, oh god, you guys are such little goody two-shows. Look, we're former tag team champions too, and we're going to do, right? I give them back belts, right? Yeah. Anyway, oh yeah, because the whole back tag match. Anyway, again, it's been a while since I booked this stuff. Harris more like, no, you don't understand. We need to be at the top of tag team wrestling once again. All these other tag teams, they need to get out of our way, including you two. They're like, fine, we'll fight you again, and we'll beat you again. And this gets 67, and seems to have a little mini feud going on. Then we go backstage as AJ, Eric Harris is like all hyperly happy about, he talks to AJ, basically tells AJ, I just was told that I'm gonna take cruiserweight title shot. He's like, I'm happy for you, man, but no, I really hope you can do, what he's doing with the cruiserweight title. And AJ, Eric Harris like, okay, good thing with Lance Storm, beating him, he's a good wrestler. He's like, yeah, I know. I mean, but I'm AJ Styles, so yeah, I'm not surprised I beat him. I former cruiserweight champion, former tag team champions. Why should I beat him? And everybody's like, yeah, you're right, man. We're both doing stuff, and eventually we'll get back together. Maybe I'll have a belt, you'll have a belt, and we'll go win the tag belts. Just yeah, cool, man. Then they run into Ray Jr. again, who's again still seems a little despondent, and but he tries to put on high. He's like, hey, look, saw you guys did good out there. I'm glad. The future of WCW is bright. And AJ's like, well, I mean, you're a future still, right? I mean, you've had a couple run of bad luck. You lost U.S. title. Billy Kidman got the cheap one over you, but I mean, you're great junior, man. You were a hero to me. When I was a kid, I would, I was a little younger, when I was high school, you made me want to be a wrestler, man. Or I was like, yeah, me too. Or he's like, yeah, that's the point. You guys are here, and what do I do now? And then he just sort of walks away as Eric Harris and AJ start sharing another look. As this gets to 73, as another little fun backstage achievement, continuing the story. I'm sure in modern day there would be memes about the Sad Ray storyline from the mid-2000s. But yeah, solid little stuff. As we then go backstage, where, of course, O'Haire is like basically pushes right away against Vamprio. Was like, tell me you are not involved. Tell me I'm not walking into a trap right now. Everybody says, you're not walking into a trap. At least it's not one I've laid. So step away. O'Haire steps back like, look, we don't have to like each other, but obviously this was their plan all along. So let's go out there and kick some ass. And remind your two former pals why you're not a champion anymore, and why they don't have any, and why they're not looking. Why they're looking. You can have a fight tonight. Vampiro simply nods and says, I agree, and then walks away. But O'Haire still looks a little nervous about stuff. As this gets an 80 as we move forward to our second semi-main event, which is an absolute awesome match. As any good match, I mean, hell, 86 is a great fucking match. As Jamie Noble defeats Alex Wright in 943 by pinfall with, okay, I mean, it says diving like but I mean, well, I'll go over it. Basically, back and forth match. Wright is a really good wrestler, doing his bit. Jamie Noble is going back and forth, like, trying to get Wright in submissions and stuff, but Wright fights back. Obviously, Ebony Sable, his big bodyguard is at ringside as well. But, Wright has Chavo Guerrero behind him. But eventually what happens is, of course, like, Noble goes for the guillotine choke. Wright gets out of him, hits a big sort of quasi suplex. He follows it up with a sort of sit down powerbomb, near fall. And then, Noble complains to the ref. Ref sort of talks to him. That allows Sable to try to evolve. Chavo goes after him, but then Sable's going after Chavo. So Noble tries to, looks like he's going to go after and save his tag team partner. When Noble basically hits him from is able to hit him from behind with a roll up and get the 1, 2, 3. So that gets an 86. So lots of technical hold, lots of sort of high, not really high flying, but big impact strikes beforehand. But Jamie Noble gets the big victory over Alex Wright, and that means at the pay-per-view for the tag team titles, will be a tag team match. We got Alex Wright and Chavo Guerrero Jr. taking on Jamie Noble and Ebony Sable. Of course, post-match, there's a big old post-match brawl between all four. As basically what happens is, Noble goes to basically get some more, lay out Chavo once and for all. But Wright comes out of nowhere with a chair and chases both men off, helps his partner up, and there's a stare down between the two teams as we go to commercial, as this gets a 60. And then in our main event, ooh, this was not as good as I thought it was. Is there a reason for this? Penalized. Okay, I mean, relatively low heat. Vampiro normal. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, in a bout tied to pro wrestling and great heat, Macias and Morningstar defeats Vampiro and Sean O'Haire in 1427. When Macias pins Sean O'Haire, this is literally using the for leverage. What basically, I mean, what basically happens is what you imagine happening is back and forth. Vampiro with his roundhouse kicks, suplexes, big slams, tries to go for the nail and coffin. Morningstar early, but Morningstar fights out of it. Macias comes down, Rick stuff. O'Haire fights back though. Hits based on big clotheslines, big, huge belly suplex on Macias. Tries to go for the Widowmaker on him, but Macias, basically Macias easily breaks it, hits a big suplex, throws him to the outside. Things eventually break down, and that allows O'Haire to get caught up in a 2-on-1 after Vampiro gets sent to the outside by Macias, the big press slam, taking a bump to the outside. Morningstar does Vampiro tries to get back in, but Morningstar stops them and allows Macias to basically choke slam O'Haire to hell onto a chair and then pick up the victory. 1, 2, 3. 82. O'Haire gets an 86, Vampiro gets an 80, Morningstar gets an 87, Macias gets a 90. So even things out, yeah, I guess, yeah, plus Hudson. Ooh, Scotty, I might have to take you off the calls for the main events. And then post-match, what happens here is, as it looks like, O'Haire's on his own after getting, wrecked and hit with a choke slam. It looks like he's going to get drilled with a steel chair shot, but out of nowhere, Vampiro runs in to step in front of it and gets nailed with the chair by Morningstar, which, but Vampiro goes down, but that gives O'Haire enough time to recover and go after both men. And O'Haire seems to end things as basically then helps Vampiro up as a show ends. It looks like Vampiro's now actually proven himself to be a true hero, or at least a true babyface for the moment. Overall, this show gets 86. Okay, so not that ending was a little but Booker, Goldberg, main event, all that, the opening promo all saved us. But yeah, not the end of the world, but still not our best show either. Yeah, I guess I should have figured that because Vampiro, like you guys saw, has the crappy what's the word I'm looking for? Has the crappy morale and such. This is going to be a longer video, I guess, setting things up and everything. Morningstar had a catch, whatever. Let's see here. Terry Taylor opinion thinks Martin Druck is going to be a big star. I mean, yes. Rick Barber thinks last. Oh, okay, Rick, go drink it. Go drink. Anyway, let's see what Raw did. Okay, so we had Perry Saturn defeat Funaki. Unshaken Triple H had a confrontation. Mike Hall defeated Jerry Slice. William Regal, Steven Richards, and Scott Hall defeated Bradshaw and TNA. Kevin Nash defeated Al Snow. Okay. Chris Jericho defeated Cody Hawk. Kurt Angle defeated Nick Dinsmore. Billy Gunn defeated Randy Orton. Shawn Michaels and Big Show defeated Triple H and Chris Benoit. Interesting. So yes. And what did they get overall? They got 91, of course. Of course they did. Quick storyline check. So, Beautiful Violence between Foxx and Kim is at 67. Monty Brown, Dustin Rhodes, which again, basically just was set up last week. It's at a 40 because Booker versus Goldberg at an 86. Tag title feuds at an 80. Darkness Evolving is at a Darkness Evolving as an 80. European Invasion is at a 64. Horsemen and Martis is at an 81. Passing the Torch. AJ versus Reyes at 74. RVD versus Helms as an 84. Vampiro versus Macias is at an 82. And Sharp and Shearies at a 70. So again, so yeah, that's it. And as a quick check, just so you guys can see, Tony Cozina's basically mid-20s everywhere, so he'll need some time to build up. And Simply Johnny Divine is mid-30s, so again, he'll need to be built up, but what can you do? Again, we need new people for the cruiserweight division, so it's not the same 6 guys battling it over forever. That's one reason why I gave Eli Skipper the push. Oh, somebody who won the protein contest for Mayhem and other fun stuff. Then, just guys check in, so you guys know. First, American Wrestling Queens had, I think, hold on. Now I forget whether I showed you it. I think, yeah, I would have showed you guys this because, yeah, okay. That happened. Oh, wait. Yeah, that happened. Okay, so for the weekly show, for my women's dev fed, Lacey called out Nikki Rocks, but ended up in a wrong end of beating. That got a 46. Ariel defeated Mischief in a 39. Vanessa Harding and Bonnie Maxon defeated Becky Bayless and Tracy Brooks by DQ in a 53. Or, no, in a 43. Natty Nightheart, Lacey, and Maliko Osaka, who's basically our trainer, defeated Allison Danger, Cindy Rogers, and Miss Molly. So yeah, Allison Danger is getting up there, and yeah, Lacey also is. Again, I have lots of women also who are getting like way too good to stay on the dev territory forever, so that got a 50. And Social Scene, who are tag team champs of Annie Social, Nikki Rocks, defeated Beth Phoenix and Ronnie Jonah in a 52. And yeah, Nikki Ross gets, again, it's interesting that Beth Phoenix space is basically getting left behind. Like, she must have had a low Destiny score. And finally, Kim Nielsen, who is Future Desire from TNA, if you guys remember, defeated Sheila and Melissa in a 53 to retain the title. Then if we go to our other dev fed, NW Wildside, always forget I can just go to there. But okay, first they had their weekly house show, which had Tony Jones and Travis Tomko defeat JC Daz and Claudio. So yes, Claudio drops again. In a 50, Chance Prophet defeating Adam Ortiz, who's a regen. In a 52, we had Hiroshima defeating Ray Lepin to retain the World Junior Heavyweight title. Interesting. Cassie Realize defeated Kai Graves, who's a regen, by DQ in 52. We had MI Smooth and TNT defeat Tony Gazina and Militech and Rick Michaels in a 57. We had Ken Anderson defeat Shannon Ballard in a 60. We had Johnny Divine defeat Tank Tolan and Rothschild in a 66. Basically, one of his goodbye matches. Chris Rambola defeated Akabono, of all people, in a 58. Okay. And main event, Killswitch and Prince Nana defeated Keith Walker and Larry Zillers in a 64. And then on their TV show, we had Prince Nana defeating Ram Drago in a 52. We had Rick Michaels and Shining Examples, who are Todd Saxon and who are Johnny Divine and Keith Walker. So yeah, defeated Cassie Riley and TNT in a 62. Tank Tolan won a 4-way with Lazarus, Ray Lepin, and Tony Kozina in a 65. And in the main event, Jason Cross and Chris Rambola defeated Killswitch and Jimmy Grave in a 73. So yeah, that's where we're at. We're continuing on the road to Grand American Bash, which again has Paris versus Skipper for the Cruiserweight title, Bill Cobra versus Booker T for the World title, Gail Kim versus Angel Fox for the Women's World title, Monty Brown versus Dustin Rhodes, RVD versus Holmes in a rematch where somebody must win, the tag title 3-way, Vampiro versus Macias, where again, if Vampiro wins, he gets back control of Macias, and if Macias wins, Vampiro is gone from WCW, and Jerry versus Sharp for the US title. And next we have a Ric Flair versus Jeff Jarrett on Nitro, and who knows what else. That's it for now. If you enjoyed the show, go ahead and give it a like. Comment below if you're, glad I'm back or just because. And, subscribe to the channel for lots of TEW 2020 content. Maybe not quite as much as before, but still, at least this series of nothing else. Again, even if I stop out completely, I'll still do this series because this is the one thing I absolutely love booking no matter what. But that's it for now, so talk later, and adios. Have a good one.